We go now to a live look at the White House. Today, President Trump is marking 100 days in office. He's talking about what he considers his accomplishments, even though there's criticism from Democrats and falling approval ratings nationally.
We have team coverage on this tonight. NBC 10 political commentator Sue O'Connell will join us in a moment with her report card on issues the president campaigned on. But first, let's get to Matt Pritchard. So, Matt, how are politicos here in Massachusetts viewing this moment?
Well, Glenn, JC, like many other things, this falls along party lines. Democrats and Republicans staying in their corners and each looking ahead with vastly different strategies. A variety of reactions.
It's amazing how much this president has been able to get accomplished.
This first 100 days has been an absolute disaster.
As the country reflects on 100 days of the Trump administration, Donald Trump's second stint in the White House has come with a flurry of action, aggressive trade and foreign policy, slashing federal agencies and funding, along with sweeping immigration reform that's produced a series of high-profile cases, including the detention of Tufts student Rumeysa Ozturk and the deportation of Kilmar Obrego Garcia to El Salvador.
Happy first 100 days.
And despite a 45% approval rating, the White House sees a track record of success.
This has truly been the most historic start to a presidency in American history.
But Massachusetts Republicans and Democrats are split on the commander-in-chief's approach.
It'll be a short-term pain for long-term gain to get our deficit down, to get our economy booming again.
His flouting the rule of law. His belief that he can do whatever he wants.
Is there any positives that you take away from the 100 days that you think he's doing well?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I would, no, I don't really know.
Are there any areas where you feel like he's fallen short in these first 100 days?
Well, not really, because, again, it is only 100 days.
A short stint President Trump will seek to spotlight tonight in Michigan.
We've done everything, or it's in the process of being done.
Now, the president Force Base in Michigan. He's slated to speak at a rally around 6 o'clock tonight. A full recap of that coming up at 11 o'clock later on this evening. Back to you guys.
Okay, Matt, thank you. Let's bring in political commentator Sue O'Connell.
All right, Sue, earlier today, we gave you a report card. We asked you to fill it out with 5 issues that the president campaigned on. We want to show everybody what those issues are: immigration, economy, DOJ, education, and foreign affairs. You gave him an A for effort across the board.
Oh.
But when it came to execution, you gave him D's, as in dog. Explain your,
Yeah.
D. Explain your thought process here, how you came to terms with those grades.
Okay, JC. Donald Trump won the popular vote. He won the electoral vote, campaigning on those very issues. And look, the majority of Americans, even those who didn't vote for him and even those who really oppose him, agree that those are the issues that need the most attention. And polls say consistently Americans are in agreement, usually, on how to address them. So today, we should be talking about Trump's historic plan to improve America, but instead we're talking about historic destruction.
All right, well, let's talk about the president's said ability to hire the right people around him. How is the cabinet doing in the first 100 days? What grade do you give them?
That's an F, as in Frank, F. Political policy aside, not talking about what he wants to do, talking about how he wants to do it. The Trump officials in charge of implementing the agenda have been a disaster. Here are just a couple of highlights. A Maryland man was mistakenly deported due to what they have described as an administrative error. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth accidentally added a reporter to a Signal chat, and he exposed sensitive information. DOJ briefly canceled Ebola prevention funding by mistake, they said, and the department also fired and then had to rehire government workers who were focused on nuclear safety. And even the layups, like releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files or declassifying the JFK assassination files, those were disasters. And that's just what I have time for right now.
Okay, let's cross the border for a moment. There was an election in Canada last night. The Liberal Party won big, which is a surprise considering where the party's popularity was just a few months ago. Can you attribute that turnaround to President Trump?
Absolutely. Look, if Trump hadn't started a trade war with Canada, today Donald Trump might be celebrating the victory of a candidate who shared many of the same political values that Donald Trump does. So instead, Canada has bucked what has been an international trend of electing disruptors, and it's been a result mostly as a reaction to Trump.
NBC 10 political commentator Sue O'Connell. Sue, as always, thank you.
You're welcome.